Okay, hi everyone. So, oh God, I'm just tired. I don't even know why I'm making a video. I wanted to talk about my gardening because it has been exhausting, exhausting. And I'm trying to think about how I want to change my garden. And because I'm starting to work on it. Fall will be here before we know it. And so I'm just thinking about that. What kind of style? Because it's just wearing me out. Just wearing me out. And the thing that gets me is that I've helped other people start gardens. And I tell them it's just simple. Just get your dirt, put your seed in the ground, and water it. And you know what? This stuff's growing. They have stuff that seeds that I've actually have given them. Like one person, I gave them some cantaloupe seeds. She just threw them all in the dirt. And guess what she has? Cantaloupe. And myself, I planted cantaloupe seeds, and I have to pray to the cantaloupe gods. Yeah, yeah. I have to work really hard to get my stuff. And so I felt a little jealous about that. But I was like, you know what? You're not even taking your own advice. You tell people to keep it simple, but you're not keeping it simple. I do composting and compost tea and all this, and my poor seeds probably don't know whether or not to stay in the ground or come up. They just don't know. They don't know. Gots to be more careful. Gots to be. I mean, I'm just like, wow, like, seriously, you know, and I'll go to their house, like I said, I go to their houses, bring seeds, show them how to save their own seeds. They throw them in the ground, and boom, there they go. So I don't know. I'm just kind of little, um, just trying to not complicate things so much. And I feel like that's what I do. I complicate things. So I'm just trying to figure out, what. Mister, see, look at him. He just woke. Look at him. He sensed a camera was on and woke up. You see that? Okay. He's supposed to be taking a nap. And you see, I have to stay in the room with him so he can take his nap. Yeah, somebody spoiled. But yeah. So then I went out to the. This is trying to go all over the place. I went out to the garden, and something I had cleaned out my pot that had the string beans in it. I was like, you know what? I don't know. I've had those beans for years. I don't know. It's just growing a whole bunch of vines. Maybe nothing's coming of it. I ripped them out of there. I'm like, I'm just done. So I went on about my business. And then I go out there and all this stuff is coming up. I'm like, what the heck is that? I don't know. A lot of stuff starts coming up when I just leave it to its own devices. And that's why I think that I'm the problem. It's not the soil, because I know I have good soil. Um, I even had it tested, and it was great soil. I mean, like I said, I compost great soil. So I cut back on watering. I guess. Yeah, I think I cut back on the watering. And so I was like, what is going on? And then I have voles. I'm not sure if I told y'all that. I have voles. So from what I read about them, they can go underground and eat the roots. So that's another issue of why I'm thinking about putting things in pots. Um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I might do. Some things I'm not gonna rip them up, like the sorrel. I left that there because I wanted to see would it come back. Um, and then I have some plants and stuff which I don't think the voles. I don't know if they'll eat that, but certain things I'm just not gonna dig up. But vegetables that, when I'm just starting all over, I think I might put them in pots, um, just to protect them from the voles. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff that I'm thinking about doing. Um, and to make my life easier. That's the thing, to try to make it easier. And I realized I had a spot where my apple tree is, and it gets sun, but it's like later in the evening. And I'm like, So I'm going to change that up to an area like for the broccolis and a lot of the brassicas. That's where those things will be at. But the other stuff, it gets sun early in the morning, so making sure that everything is over there. And then there's a theory that I want to try. I want to test a theory because I went to a park. My girlfriend and I went to Maryland, and I went to go visit a friend of mine in Maryland, and she and I were walking, and I saw all these flowers, beautiful flowers, and then I looked down. I was like, I think that's a squash. And she knew what squash was, but she had never seen squash growing. And we went over there, and I'm like, there's a squash growing right here among all these weeds, flowers. I mean, I was just like, wow. And so my theory is, do I really need to weed? Now I know there's some invasive weeds, and I mean, some some weeds that would just strangle a vegetable. but but my theory is, do I really need to pull all the weeds? Do we really need to manicure everything? Do we need to? I mean, I've had watermelons just growing, like, was it last year? I just threw them in one of the beds and got a watermelon. And I actually forgot about it until I pulled up and saw the watermelon. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. Uh, so that's my theory. Do I really need to pull all the weeds? There has to be some nutritional value in those weeds. I mean, you look around, they're all green. All green. You know, no one's doing anything for them. So that's my theory. And then my thinking is that with all the weeds there, they're retaining moisture in the soil. And so that's what I've been thinking about. Let's test that. I think I want to test that. I think I'm going to find a spot, and I have a good spot, just where the weeds are just growing, and I mean, everything is just thriving. I don't even water it. Every once in a while I'll go by and water, if I remember. And everything's thriving. And so I was like, maybe I should throw a seed in there and see what happens. And so that's some of the stuff that's been running across my mind about. Um, but yeah, definitely some changes are coming. And y'all will see that. Once I start implementing these things, y'all would definitely be seeing this. And I've been doing some new stuff around here, and I will be videotaping that very soon. So, anyway, I'm going to try to rest. I just finished cutting the grass, which I didn't plan on doing, but I was like, do it, you know. And then I have pine trees, all those pine needles. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the pine. So far I've been just mowing them and creating like a mulch on the ground and using some of those pine needles for my beds and things like that. I just don't know what to do with those pine needles. They are just everywhere. So I'm like, use them. Use what you have. Why go get mulch when you got all these pine needles and everything else falling out, leaves, and that's what I do in the fall. I mulch them and put them in my beds. But anyway, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm so tired. I need to take a nap. But I hope everyone is doing well, and I will talk to all of you soon. Peace and love. Peace and love, everyone. Bye. Gotta figure out where that button is.